I think, yeah, I think you have to just establish residency, but I mean that's not that difficult to do. I mean in Florida, if you have a place here, you can do it. We don't hunt people down about whether they're paying income taxes because we don't have income taxes. So you can come and do what you want, and so I think it'd be fine. But yeah, I think it's going to be Florida citizens of the state of Florida. I don't think there's going to be a requirement you have to have been a citizen for a certain amount of time. But if you come here, we want to do it. Yes, sir.
One of my questions is, or considerations for kind of an open-ended question, could you comment on, like you've done before, with the inculcation of our children with the ideology-based Marxism, and going back to foundational principles that could be passed on as a mission, that I see as a possible bridge?
Yeah, well, I think it's a huge issue, and I think parents have really woken up to this. And I can tell you, I have young kids, 5, 4, and 2, so my wife and I are very, very sensitive. But we create a school system, and with your tax dollars, and the purpose of that needs to be to educate our kids, not to indoctrinate them with ideology. And that means that parents have a fundamental role when it comes to directing the education and the upbringing of their kids. Now, that is under debate in our society right now. You have some people that say, parents shouldn't be involved and that they should kind of butt out, that they don't know what they're doing. And first of all, I can tell you this, you talk to most teachers, if you ask them, do you want your students' parents involved or not, almost all of them will say they want them involved because the student is going to perform better when the parents take an interest in what's going on. And the parents are neglectful, those are the harder cases in order to generate good performance amongst those students. And so the only people that don't want the parents involved are the people that think the parents are an impediment to their indoctrination efforts. And so in Florida, this is not up for debate. We are a parents' rights state, and we're happy about that. And parents have every right to be involved in their kids' education. They have the right to go to school board meetings and petition the school board members for a redress of their grievances. The Biden administration mobilized the FBI to look at school board meetings to try to intimidate parents as one of the most disgraceful things that I've seen. They don't care. They're not really focused on some of the things where they clearly have dropped the ball on that are really core law enforcement. But when it comes to those parents, man, they got to get out there because they're worried about the parents speaking the truth. And so we're for parents' rights. Now that involves a lot of things. For example, you can't force mask these kids with the parents' decision on that. And you have to have schools open and all these other things that we've done well over the last 2 years. But if you look at some of the ideologies, we said in Florida, we're not doing critical race theory in K through 12 schools. You're not going to have to pay tax dollars and have that tax money go to teaching kids to hating this country and to hating each other based on race. That is inappropriate, and they're not going to let it happen. And we now have given parents the wherewithal to be able to hold the school districts accountable if they don't follow the state standards. And we have a handful that whatever the law is, they think that they are effectively above the law. We saw it with the forced masking, and we're likely to see it with other things. And so it was important that the legislature provided, that recourse, because we can put the standards in place. We can say this is what it is, but if they don't follow it, what's the recourse of it? And now we have recourse. We also did the bill for parents' rights in education. Elementary school kids should not have woke gender ideology injected into the curriculum. That is inappropriate. That's not what we want in our school system. And why we're even focusing on those things as a society, it just shows you some people want us to take our eye off the ball. I think, particularly our elementary schools, their mission needs to be to teach reading and writing and math and science and history and learn about these things, and parents deserve that protection. How parents want to handle that, is different, but it used to be something those are things that the parents would have discussions with. And I know a lot of parents, I look at my kids, are so young, that's not even in the realm of possibility to be going into some of this stuff. And so there is a concerted effort around this country, though, to do that with the young kids. And so we had to stand up and say no. And you know what? There were some companies that didn't like that, based in California. But at the end of the day, we're not letting companies in California govern the state of Florida. We the people, are governing the state of Florida. But hold on. But within that, it's fine to say, we don't want, this niche ideology of like critical race theory. No one would have thought that would have been something that would have been appropriate for K-12 schools even 5 years ago. That would have been. So it's fine to do it, but it's also okay. Well, what do you want to do? And of course, focus on those core things. We want the kids to read at grade level, particularly by third grade. If you read at grade level by third grade, the chance that you drop out of school goes down dramatically. If you don't read at grade level by third grade, the chance that you don't make it through high school goes up dramatically. And so that's a clear focus in Florida. We've put a lot of emphasis and resources on that, and also the other key things. But one of the things we've done in Florida is we've put a renewed emphasis on American civics. Teaching kids what it means to be an American, teaching them about the Constitution, teaching them about the founding of the country. And you have some places in this country that want to take down statues of people like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and even Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. In Florida, we embrace our history. We want people to understand. You teach about all aspects of history. I mean, that's important, and that's actually required in our statutes, that all different aspects of history are taught. But we're not going to jettison the founding principles of this country. We're going to embrace them, and we understand that if we give kids the proper foundation of understanding what it means to be an American, understanding why would people, have enlisted, to go to Europe in World War II or the Pacific or all these other things. Even in my generation, those of us who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, it was volunteer. People wanted to do it. And why would people be willing to do that and put their lives on the line? And I think it's because, America, as it was conceived, is a special place. It was different than other countries that had come before it. And, all of that stuff that makes us, I think, unique is in flux now. I think that there's a lot of debates about first principles, which is part of the reason we have so many divisions in the country. Now, if we do our job and just give people that foundation when they leave our school system, I don't know what they're going to do when they get out. I don't know where they'll gravitate towards in terms of some of these things, but at least they're not just going to be like listless vessels without having that foundation. They're going to understand. They're going to have to take, in Florida, we're implementing exams for seniors like immigrants have to do to become citizens, a citizenship exam. We're going to have other things for teachers so that they get bonuses if they go through civics training and boot camp and all these other things that we've created. We have a big civics and debate initiative that's gotten really, really popular. So we're going to continue to do that. So I just think it's important because you're going to have students that go into a wide variety of endeavors. Some will go straight into the workforce out of high school, and quite frankly, the certifications we're providing now with these vocational endeavors, these kids are making good money right away. So that's a great pathway, and we want to embrace that. Others will go to state college, some will go to university, some will go into medicine or business or whatever. And there's going to be a wide variety. But everyone who ends up, when they turn 18, they're going to be required to discharge the duties of being an American citizen. And so we can't neglect that aspect of it, because in reality, that's the one thing that is going to be constant across the entire population of people that we're graduating. And I know people that would come to like an American Legion Hall understand that. And I remember they used to do the debate program with the American Legion for the scholarships. And so it's very, very important. But that's really what we want to focus on in the state of Florida. And I think the fact that we're doing education, not indoctrination, the fact that we're focusing on civics, all these other things, 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be a huge difference between states like Florida and these other states, because some of these other states, the school systems are just devolving into ideology factories, and that's really what they're trying to do. So they're trying to get people to adopt a certain worldview, but they're not really teaching them how to think. They're not really teaching them how to make sense of a lot of the things that's going around them. And so we're taking, I think, the approach that almost everyone would have agreed was the proper approach for most of this country's history. It's only recently, with the woke ideology unleashed on American society and in businesses and all these other places, that people think somehow that's good. Following woke indoctrination in our schools, that is a road to ruin for this country, and we're not going to let it happen in Florida.